Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm here with my good friend all the way in Texas, Regis Prograis. Regis, it's been a while, brother, man. What's been going on?
Just had Thanksgiving yesterday. That's all, try not to get so fat. That's the thing, but for the most part, man, just always, home training. When I'm here in Texas, I train all day and then just traveling. That's all. Just doing a lot of traveling, and when I'm here training and being with the family, that's it, nothing too much.
That's the main thing. Well, the reason I obviously wanted to get you on the channel is because, I mean, there's been a war of words between you and the Irishman himself, TYRONE McKENNA. I'm hearing that your both of your teams are in advanced talks to get this fight on early next year. I mean, before we talk about the fight being made and stuff like that, man, let's just go back a couple of months or a few weeks ago when he started saying that you had no chance in the rematch against Josh Taylor, and he sort of made fun of your height and stuff like that, man. Just take me back when you seen these tweets from TYRONE.
I didn't see. I don't think I seen the stuff about no chance. Oh yeah, he did. He said something about the Josh Taylor thing. Because every now and then I might get on Twitter and have Twitter fingers and start some shit, and then he said something, and I was like, who the fuck is him? Like, who the fuck is this dude? And then I looked him up, and I was like, okay, I guess this who this is, and then my management told me, that's actually like a possible fight. I was like, make it happen, just make it happen. So he said something about signing the contract, and I actually, I didn't know who he was, so I looked him up, and then I started looking at videos, and I seen that he said, I'm scared and I'm shitting myself for him, and I was like, bro, what are you talking about? I was like, all right, as soon as I get the contract, bro, I will sign it. I will tell people, call me, and I will sign a contract on video. I will make sure, like I'm gonna beat the living shit out of him. But yeah, it's like, all right, if that's gonna happen, that's gonna happen. So, we'll see. But yeah, he was talking a little shit. So, I guess that might be the next fight. We'll see. I just don't know, but I'm definitely ready to fight again. It's damn it. I didn't fight since April, so that's a long time for me, especially to always constantly be training and to not fight. It's getting kind of aggravating for me.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you've always wanted to become a world champion again at 140 before you moved up to 147. Now, obviously, Josh holds all them belts still, when he's got his mandatory against Jack in the end of February. So before you can even fight for a world title again, I'm being out since that has been since April, that you've had a fight. TYRONE is quite highly ranked in a few of the governing bodies. He's had 2 losses on his record, but they've both been very close fights against 2 good operators, Jack Catterall being one of them, who's at world level. So it does for your this point in time in your career. Does this fight make sense to you to face somebody like TYRONE, who does like to talk a lot, like yourself? He won't give you trash talk at the press conference to weigh in, and for me, it seems like that's the sort of stuff you thrive on. Would this be a fight that makes sense to you, TYRONE?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, listen, I want to be a world champion again. So whoever's there for me to be a world champion again, no matter if it's fight Josh Taylor for the rematch. Or if he goes up and then vacates, and then I'll be right there. So it doesn't matter. But yeah, for me, I talked to my management, bro, and they said, like I'll be fighting for a world championship, 2022. Sometime in 2022, I'll be fighting for a world championship again. So it doesn't matter who I fight to, whoever's in my way, that's, for me, that's just who I'm gonna have to get past, So if it's him or anybody else, that's just, it's just what it's gonna be.
You said you watched TYRONE. You looked him up. Did you watch any of his fights? And if you did, what did you make of him?
I did. I watched his fight. That's what I'm saying. I watched his fights and stuff like that. I watched a few of his fights, and I think he's okay. From the video, he looks okay, but I think I'm definitely a different level. I think I'm world-class level, elite level, especially at like 140 right now, but at the same time, for me, you can't just look past. I don't look past nobody. If the fight does get signed, if me and him end up, we end up fighting, then I'm still gonna train my ass off, and just like always, and I'm gonna go out there and put on a performance, and just do what I gotta do.
Would you fight back in the UK? I know after the Josh Taylor fight, you made a lot of UK fans over here, whether that be in the UK or Ireland. Would you travel back to these shores to have that fight against TYRONE?
I think I would. It all depends, man. I mean, I like I said, I mean, it's just for me, it was a lot of things that went on with the whole Josh Taylor thing. And, you know, I just, like, sometimes I feel like I was a pawn. I got used like a pawn, basically. Sometimes I do feel like that. I just got used up like a pawn. You know, looking back on it, it was something like before the fight even happened, like when we was in that whole tournament thing, and I kind of got baited. Basically, I kind of got baited in. I talked to this with my partners and stuff like that. Basically, I kind of got baited and stuff like that because I was saying, man, I'm not going. You know, I said I'm not going to his. You know, I'm not going to his country. Wait, Khaleesi, hold on. I said I'm not going to his. I'm not going to his country, and I'm not going to fight. And then, you know, all his fans, the Scottish people and the English people, they start calling me scared and all the type of stuff. And I was like, all right. I'm not scared of nobody. I'm coming, you know, being macho, but, you know, it wasn't like business stuff. It wasn't small business wise for me to come over there. And I just felt like I kind of got used up like a pawn, basically. So, you know, with that being said, it depends. You know, it depends. I think I would come because I do have a fan base over there now. I think I do. A lot of people in England, they want me to, you know, they want to see me again. So, you know, it depends. Maybe I do. Maybe it all depends.
Regis, I'm glad you mentioned Josh, because when I was in Vegas a few weeks back, and a lot of interviews when Josh is asked about what's next for him, and I mean, this Teofimo Lopez thing he keeps on getting asked about, and he says, listen, there's bigger fights out there for me, and he was mentioning Terence Crawford and Errol Spence when he moved up to 147, but he even said, you know what, the rematch for Regis Prograis is still there. So when you hear that coming from Josh's mouth, that he still recognizes you and the rematch is still there as a big fight, how does that make you feel?
I mean, listen, Josh is a stand-up guy. He's a real fighter. He knows, bro. Like, that was probably the only blemish on his record. He's undefeated. He's undisputed, of course. Pound for pound in top 5 in the world. Top 5, top 10 in the world, right? So, but he knows that that was a very, very close fight, and it probably could have went either way. You know, he got it was in England, he got the nod, but it could have went my way. If it was here, it maybe could have went my way. Mm-hmm. Don't know. Nobody knows. It's all, you know, hypothetical, right? But, you know, he knows that, and of course that, you know, that could be, you know, I think he said, you know, the rematch could happen one day. So, you know, we'll see.
See, when I look at it, as a fan, as a boxing fan, when I look at used to in the rematch, I always think it's going to be at 147. I don't think you'll see each other again at 147.
No, it's gonna be at 147 for sure. I think it's definitely gonna be at 147. Like right now, like I said, it's just something personal with me. Everybody tell me, man, just go to 147, just go to 147. It's like I just want to be a champion again at 140. Like I feel like that 2-time world champion at 140. That's just something I want to do, you know. And at first, wait, stop. I'm coming. Just chill out. Go ahead. No. So, you know, at first, I questioned myself, I doubted myself because I didn't know if I can even make 140. You know, I was just like, man, I don't know if I can make 140 and stuff like that. Because the first fight back after the year layoff, I didn't make one. I made like 141, 140.6 or something like that, and I was off. And then after that, I fought Ivan Redcatch, and the weight was like 142, and I still didn't make the weight. So I was like, man, maybe I do need to go up to 147. So what I did, I hired a nutritionist, and I did like a 2-week camp, like a small mini camp for 2 weeks, and I made the weight. And I was like, all right, so I guess, you know, I will be campaigning at 140, at least, you know, until I get a belt again. So, you know, that's just something I just want to do. Just personally, I want to be a world champion again at 140. And then, you know, I think it'll be bigger when I do go up to 147 if I'm a 2-time world champion. Instead of a former world champion at 140, if it's a 2-time world champion at 140, then I go up to 147, I think it'll be bigger fights. So that's kind of what I want to do that for.
What do you make of Teofimo Lopez calling Josh Taylor out immediately after his fight with Ramirez and stuff like that? It seems like as soon as Josh beat Ramirez and got the undisputed title, Teofimo came out and said, like, that's the fight he wants. What do you make of all that?
I mean, you know, maybe he just want to be, you know, maybe somebody put in his head to maybe he just wanted it. Maybe he saw something in Josh he think he can beat. I don't know. You know, maybe I saw the interview where he did with Bob. Bob called him a smuck or something. Bob said, "Shut up, you smuck." When he said, "Yeah, let me fight Josh for his belts and we fight for my belts and, you know, all that type of stuff going on. So, you know, maybe he saw something in Josh that he can beat. And he looked like I said, I don't know, or maybe somebody put in his head, man, call out Josh Taylor. So you just never know. You never know what his angle is in that.
But see, when you look at the 147-pound division, Regis, I mean, that's where the big dogs are. Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, Keith Thurman's still there. Obviously, Porter's now retired and Pacquiao's now retired. But the 147-pound division, like you could say, underneath the heavyweight division is the money division. That's where the big...
Of course.
Are. So do you not look at that and think, I need to go up there for the big fight to get the big fights? Because hanging about 140 now with Josh holding all them belts, can you see anyone other than TYRONE McKENNA right now who you could face at 140? Or do you think it's time to move up to 147 sooner than later?
It's definitely, like I say, it's definitely gonna be time to move up to 147 for sure. You know, and that's why everybody keep asking me, just go to 147. But I won't be a champion at 140 again. You know, because I'm not pressed for, you know, I'm not pressed for nothing. You know, like if people call it the money division, I think it is the money division besides the heavyweights, you know. But honestly, bro, I'm not pressed for money. You know, I'm not pressed for money or nothing like that. I don't like need money. I like, of course, like I want it, you know, and I box, you know, because of course I get paid good and, you know, but I love boxing. So for me, it's just, you know, I want to be a champion at 140. And then it'll make way more money once I'm a 2-time champion at 140, going up to 147, instead of just going up to 147 right now. Like, yeah, I have a little name and stuff, and I could, you know, go to 147 right now and probably get some, you know, potentially get some big fights. But if I'm a champion, again, a 2-time champion at 140, and then I go up to 147, it'll be just that much better. I think I'll make way more money once I'm a 2-time champion at 140. And I'm like I said, I'm not pressed for, you know, even time. I'm not pressed for time right now. You know, I'm 32, but my body is preserved. I started boxing really late. I started boxing when I was 17 years old. So that's a very late start. Most people started when they was like 8 years old and stuff. So I started at a late age. And then I really haven't had no hard fights. I mean, probably the hardest fight, you know, was the fight with Josh Taylor. And I mean, I got 27 fights now, 26, 27 fights. And that was like the hardest fight. And so in my last year, I didn't get touched. You know, I didn't really get hit at all in like the last year of boxing. So my body is very preserved right now. So I'm not pressed for money all the time. And it's just, I'm pressed for my goal. My goal is to be a 2-time champion at 140 and then go up to 147. And I think after that, the fight's gonna be really big once I'm a 2-time champion.
I'm going to have to ask about Gervonta Davis. I mean, he seems to be hovering about that 140. There's been talk about you fighting Tank.
Yeah.
Some things have been said. You said some things. Do you think a lot has been made about Tank not fighting big names, and he's been maneuvered by his management quite well to get to these regular title fights with WBA. Do you think he's serious his fans will ever serious about you fighting Tank, or Tank fighting you? Do you think that would ever be a fight that happens?
No, I don't think so. I think they're going to keep him as far away as possible. You know, I think listen, the thing is in boxing, the business wise, right? It's about advantages. It's about getting that small advantage, you know, everything you could to get that small advantage. When you have 2 fighters that is very equal level or stuff like that, it's about getting that type of advantage. With me, he won't have no type of advantage. You know, I think with the Barrios fight, that was a good win. Barrios says he was big. He's okay. Now, he's not an elite fighter, but he's okay. But I feel like Barrios was weight drained. I do feel like Barrios was weight drained. That's why he invested into the body, started hitting him in the body, fucking broke his body down and stuff like that. But I definitely feel like he was, you know, weight drained. With me, I'm bigger. I feel like I'm probably stronger. I punch hard. I have, you know, I'm tough. I got a chin. I got defense. And, you know, at the same time, I won't be weight drained, you know, so it won't be for me. For him, it won't be no type of advantages, you know, like he won't have no advantages. And so I don't think, like I said, I don't think that fight, I don't think they would take that fight. I don't think they would want that fight. So now he's going to keep fighting, you know, he's going to keep fighting people like he's fighting. They're going to keep protecting him. And, you know, he's a star. I guess that's what they're supposed to do, right? But that's the business side of boxing. Unfortunately, that's the business side of boxing. You barely get, you know, when you're a star like that, when you're a big name, you're barely going to get the big fights.
one final word before I let you enjoy your Friday evening. Well, it's evening here. I don't know what time it is in Texas, but before I let you go, mate, one final word. If you do fight McKenna, have you got a word for him?
Oh man, McKenna, I'ma fucking beat the living shit out of McKenna, bro. That's why I'ma fuck McKenna up so bad. That's all. I just think, you know, hopefully the fight does. If the fight happens, if that's the fight for me next, if that's the fight for him next, you know, I think it'll be a good fight. You know, maybe I come to Ireland and fight him. But like I said, you know, it all depends. I don't want to feel like last time, you know, when I did come out there, I felt like, you know, I was a pawn. I felt like I was a pawn in a big chess match going on. And, you know, I was just one of the little pawns, and I just don't want to feel like that again. Feel like it was a setup. So, you know, with McKenna, you know, we'll see. Hopefully we can make the fight happen. And yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say is I'm gonna fuck him up bad.
Listen, I know Tyrone well. I know you well, and listen, I'm excited about it. If the fight does happen, I like it. I don't know. You talk a good game. Ty talks a good game. Ty likes to he likes to have a war. He likes to get cut. He says all that stuff. You know what I mean? So I know he's going to bring it with you if you do get on it. And I know how your skill set. I've seen you fight. I'm a fan of yours as well. So fingers crossed for me as a selfish boxing fan. I want to see it. But we just thank you so much for doing this for FLTV. And listen, until the next time, man, stay safe, brother.
No problem, brother. And one other thing, bro, I feel like now I'm a different fighter now too. That's another thing. Like I'm a whole different fighter. So I think one thing we've been working on more is like defense. My coach is like, man, don't get hit no more. So like because I have good defense, and I'm the same way. My nuts getting away too much. Like I want to fight. I want to get in the war too much, but I can be very, very slick and very defensive, and I don't even have to get hit, you know, at all if I don't, you know, basically if I don't want to. But I think like as me, you know, getting older and realizing that, you know, how good I am defensively, how slick I am, I don't have to get touched if I don't want to. I just feel like right now, like I am a different fighter, and, you know, I bring different things, and I can't wait to show people, you know, especially if I come back over it, I can't wait to show people like, you know, I'm like how different of a fighter I am right now. It's just like it's way different right now.
Well, listen, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you get out soon. Like I said, it's been a while since you've had a fight. Going on a year next year in April if you don't get a fight till then. But listen, thank you so much, brother. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.
All right, bro. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.